of INSOILFER, International Network on Soil Fertility and Fertilizer. Then we will be listening from Vanessa again about the main activities and objectives of Working Group 2. Then we will have a group discussion. So we would like to hear from your side about the work plan of this working group. Then we will open a poll for voting of the activities we are going to do for this working group. After that, we will be hearing about the governance of INSOILFER. Then we will select and vote the vice-chair, the vice-chair of the working group 2. Then we will go into the election of technical committee of working group 2. Each of members will introduce themselves. Then all of you, the members of working group 2, will vote and select the technical committee. In the end, we will introduce, we'll be hearing about the role of reference institutions of working group 2. In the end of today's meeting, we will have conclusion and the way forward. Then we close today's meeting. So in general, today's meeting is about to introduce the objectives, the governance and structure of working group 2, which will focus on soil fertility and fertilizer management. So this working group is about management practices. Yesterday, we organized the first working group meeting, which was focused on soil fertility monitoring and evaluation. So today, it's focused on soil management, soil fertility management, and fertilizer management. Yesterday is about how to know our soils, and today is about how to sustainable manage our soil fertility and the fertilizers. So thank you very much. Do you have any question about the agenda, or if you have any suggestions, additional suggestions for the agenda of today, please raise your hand. Okay, colleagues. So I see no hands up. So firstly, we would like to take a group picture. So it will be much appreciated. You can open your camera and also smile a little bit, because most of you, we are the first time to meeting you, and really appreciate you can smile a little bit, and hope we can work together for in the future. So thank you very much. Please open your camera, and my colleagues will take the photo for all of you and me. Cheers, colleagues. How to say cheers? In my country, we say 茄子, cheers, 茄子, cheers. And I don't know how to say. I also working for Black Soil Network, and they also say churnism, and like churnism, and they smell. So cheers. Vanessa, whether we all take the photo already? Hello, colleagues.
Ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, colleagues. So yeah, as you all the soil fertility and fertilizer experts, so you already know the importance of this topic. From my understanding, this is the most important topic on soils, because if there is no fertile in soils, we will not disturb soil, because it's no value for everybody. So to keep soil fertility, and especially to keep their productivity, I think it's most important thing for the all soil committee to work on. And to keep the soil fertility also very important, because we don't need to disturb other land, other good land, to feed people, and therefore can also reduce the greenhouse emission. So I don't want to say more because you are all experts in this field. So let's go into the first topic of today's meeting, which is citing the science. So I would like to invite my colleagues, Vinisa, who is also working with us at Global Soil Partnership of FAO headquarters. So Vinisa, the floor is yours. Over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Lucian. Let me share my screen. So thank you a lot for being here. So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I know it's very early for some of you and very late for some other participants. So thank you for your time and for being here joining us in this effort for building this network together. So I am sorry if participants that attended the meeting yesterday, because you have already heard this presentation, but it's important for all participants to know what is the network about and why we are here. So perhaps many of you were or attended to the launch of the International Network on Soil Fertility and Fertilizers that took place on the past July of this year. And we had over 1,000 participants registered to the meeting. We had the presence of keynote speakers for also setting the scene and explaining the importance of the sustainable soil management, monitoring, and the analysis also of what we are adding to our soils. So the recording and the presentations are available in the link that is in this presentation. Please know that all presentations that are presented during the working group meetings will be available for you in the website after the end of the meetings. So I want to briefly recap the goals of the network, which are the adoption and the implementation of sustainable and balanced soil fertility management, ensure global food security through sustainable use of fertilizers and promote soil fertility, to avoid the underuse, misuse, and overuse of fertilizers, reduction of the environmental and crops and animal and human health impacts of the unsustainable use of fertilizers and unsustainable management practices, the evaluation and improvement of safety and the quality of fertilizers, and the promotion of soils for nutrition policy in national and regional and global levels. So what is the origin of the network? Well, the network has risen from the Global Symposium on Soils for Nutrition. So the Global Soil Partnership is, the main mission is to tackle the threats to soil health and to promote sustainable soil management. So every year, the Global Soil Partnership organizes a global symposium to tackle and to talk about the one threat that is to soil health. So last year, it was nutrient imbalance. And the symposium, after the parallel sessions, the presentations of posters, and the plenary panels, and the many hours of discussion, we developed this outcome document that is available in the website of the Global Soil Partnership. I can put the link in the chat when I finish the presentation. After all this discussion, we developed these six general conclusions that are relevant for us today. So recommendation number 1 was to map and monitor soil nutrient and soil fertility and deepen the knowledge about the soil nutrient budget. So this recommendation is important for the formation of the working group 1 that this meeting took place yesterday. So recommendation number 2 is to develop innovative approaches and alternative products to optimize soil nutrient content and enhance fertilizer use efficiency, and reduce the externalities associated with fertility management, soil fertility management. Recommendation number 3 is to assess the quality and safety of all nutrient sources applied to soils to avoid or reduce environmental contamination and health problems. 4, advocate for the adoption of sustainable soil management practices, since it still represents the most cost-effective solution to increase soil nutrient content. 5, we need to consider also other driving important forces such as water availability, climate change, poverty, fertilizer crisis, and promote a soil for nutrition agenda. And finally, number 6, to advocate for the inclusion of soil fertility and soil health in the legal framework of the different countries. So all these recommendations are related somehow with sustainable soil management and to keep soil fertile and healthy. And that is why we launched the network. The main mission of the network is to address nutrient imbalances and promote the adoption of soils for nutrition concept and making soils healthy and fertile by 2030 as a contribution to the transformation of agri-food systems into more sustainable agri-food systems. So why the network? There are many reasons why we want to build this network and why we are building this network. So first, the network is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, especially zero hunger among other goals, but it is also contributing to preserve many different ecosystem services that are important to all of us. For example, soil carbon sequestration, nutrient cycling, and water purification, among others. Then also the society is demanding not just for more food, but for more nutritious food. 70 years ago, the food we eat, the crops, fruits, and vegetables that we eat had a higher nutrient concentration. So this nutrient concentration has been diluted in the years. So if we want nourished crops, first we need to have nourished soils. So that is another topic to be addressing in the network. Then food production without externalities, for example, greenhouse gases emissions and water contamination. Then soil nutrition without human, animal, and crop hazards. We all know that the nutrient sources that we are using sometimes contain also hazardous materials, such is the case of heavy metals and even radioactive materials. So we need to be careful on what we are adding to our soils and do proper quality assessment. But we also need to be consistent with circular economy, and also we need agri-food systems with a low carbon footprint. So that means that we need to use and promote the use not only of the traditional sources of nutrients, which are organic and inorganic fertilizers, but also other recycled and reused nutrients such as wastewater, even algae, the products of biodigesters, and other organic compounds. But this needs to be hand in hand with a proper quality and safety assessment. And then I am sure that I have here in the meeting many experts, and that you have, and you know, or you have applied successfully these sustainable soil management practices that are keeping our soils healthy but still productive. Sustainable soil management could produce up to 58 more food through these practices: agroecology, organic farming, conservation agriculture, zero tillage, among others. But these practices are kind of scattered and not very well organized. So this is one important task also of the network. And then also farmers, technicians, and laboratories need technical support and capacity development to do all this and to work on all these aspects. So soil fertility management is directly and indirectly related with these, with all these needs. So what is next? Now we need to build a network to actually make the network function and start working with the different activities. So the first step is having the working group meetings. So yesterday we had the working group 1 meeting, which is for monitoring soil fertility. But today we have the working group 2 meeting for the sustainable management of soil fertility and fertilizer practices also. So the website is almost ready. I am sure after the meeting we can launch finally the website where you will find all this information, the recordings of these meetings, but also information that could be useful for you. We have a lot of communication material and dissemination material that you might find interesting. And of course that we need to establish collaboration with other networks, other people, other institutions. So during these 3 days, as I said, yesterday we had the working group 1 meeting. Today is working group 2, sustainable soil fertility and fertilizer management. And tomorrow we will have the working group 3 meeting. And the topic of this working group 3 is fertilizer safety and quality assessment. And I encourage you and I cordially invite you all to attend tomorrow, because we will have the debriefing meeting on these 3 days, the general conclusions, but we will also be electing the chair of the network. And what to expect of this meeting? This meeting today is to build the network and the way we are going to work. So today we are going to endorse the very general work plan, goals and activities that the network, that working group 2 will follow. And also we are going to elect the vice chair of working group 2 that is going to lead this working group. We will also have the election of some reference institutions that have been nominated for upscaling and downscaling the activities and goals of this working group. So the membership of INSOILFER, so far we have more than 200 members, and this is growing with the participation of 69 countries. So one of the most important aspects of the network is that we need to have a regional balance, a gender balance, and a sectoral balance. So so far we have a lot of people coming from Africa and Asia and Latin America. So we will try to keep this balance. So please, I ask you to spread the voice and ask your colleagues and the people that you know that can contribute to this, to join the network. Then, because of the nature of the topic that we are addressing here, which is very cross-cutting, we are trying to keep also this sectoral balance. It's very important for the network to have different stakeholders coming from different sectors, such as government, academia, laboratories, research organization, extension, etc., even students or NGO. And the working group distribution so far looks like this, but I hope it will be more even in the near future. And finally, I would like to share with you the structure of the network, which is formed by these different elements. So first, of course, is the working groups, which is all the members. And then we will have the chair and the vice chairs. So the chair of the network, which is one member of INSOILFER, and also 3 working group leaders that will automatically become vice chairs of INSOILFER, one vice chair per working group. Then we have the coordinators of the network coming from the GSP Secretariat, my colleague Yuxin Tong and myself. And we have also the technical committees to support the vice chair and the chair of the network in doing the review of different documents and actually to develop many activities that we will have in the network. And then we have reference institutions that will help us to and support the implementation of the activities of the network in the different countries. So I think that is all for me. Lucian, later in the meeting, I will explain in more detail the work that we expect and the activities that we expect to be addressed by the working group. Thank you. Over to you, Yushi.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you very much for citing the science and introduce the structure and the reason why we will organizing this INSOILFER global network. So I didn't see any hands up and questions in the chat. So I assume no questions regarding this presentation. Okay, thank you very much. Then without further ado, I would like to go to the next session of today's meeting, which is the introduction of objectives and the main activities of Working Group 2. Very important session because we will introduce the proposals about work plan of this working group. So I would like to invite Vanessa again to introduce the main activities proposal for this working group. So Vanessa, please.
Sorry, this is not. A second,
Colleagues,
please.
if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, and also you can also put your question in the chat of Zoom. Then after presentation, I will address the questions with Vanessa together, and we can discuss together also. So this is your network, not us. So we would really like to hear from your side, your opinion, your suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you, Yushin. So I hope you can see my screen. Okay, thank you. So as I said, back to the Global Symposium of Soils for Nutrition, because it was the basis to build this network. During the Global Symposium of Soils for Nutrition, we had mainly 4 topics addressed, and one of these was the sustainable soil management and try to keep soils healthy. So during the meeting, we identified different gaps and challenges to combat nutrient imbalances. What do I mean with nutrient imbalances? Is that we all know that in some regions of the world, the soils are under-fertilized or have been losing soil fertility, while in other regions of the world, soils are over-fertilized or even contaminated now. So that is one of the main aspects to tackle currently. And also for this, we need to implement integrated nutrient management. So as you can see here in this, sorry, because the one that doesn't see is me. So as you can see here, we have the gaps and challenges here in order to fight to this main challenge, which is the unsustainable agricultural practices that are leading to soil degradation and low crop production. So we identified these gaps and challenges. So the identification of local practices. So we need to understand what people need, the farmers need, specifically in their communities. Then we need also to address soil fertility assessment and monitoring, which was addressed yesterday. We need also to implement integrated soil fertility management. But we also need to implement the innovations and nature-based solutions that are quite successfully in many regions of the world. So the recommended actions are that there is a single solution to combat all problems. So we need a portfolio of locally adaptable best practices. We need to understand very well the soil fertility status. And also we need to document and to describe the benefits for soil health and crop production and disseminate it. And finally, we also need to implement eco-friendly enhanced crop production practices. Why? Because then we would be in conditions to have improved fertilization plans and increased soil fertility and crop production to finally achieve sustainable crop production and food security. But we also have other challenges like a lack of awareness, education, standard tools and infrastructure for a nutritionally balanced farming practices, not only yield-oriented practices. We also have poor understanding of the complex nature of the plant-soil atmosphere system on the different conditions, and limited information regarding the value of other potential nutrient sources, not only the traditional ones. So other gaps and challenges are that currently agriculture is more oriented to crop production, to increase yields, and to increase income, which is, of course, one important goal, and it's essential. However, as I explained, we have been losing nutrients in our crops, so we need to also promote a balanced crop nutrition, not only using micronutrients, but also micronutrients, and bringing nutrients back to soil. So we identified also these gaps and challenges, which is low crop nutritional quality. But this is not only above ground, we have only depleted nutrient soils, so this is also underground, and we also have low crop production in some regions of the world. So the recommended actions would be implement balanced fertilization and ensure the optimization of the nutrients uptake, enhance soil health, considering not just chemical fertility, but also the physical and the biological properties of soils, which ultimately these three are defining soil fertility. Also innovations and nature-based solutions, nutrition-sensitive agriculture, and agrobiodiversity. Because then we would have soil health improved, better crop quality, and improved animal, soil, and human nutrition. So these were some of the topics that were addressed in the symposium: biofortification and soil fertility. These actions are taking place mainly in Africa, but it was clear that there are other places in the world that need attention also, especially in Asia and Latin America. Also, the micronutrient geospatial distribution was addressed, soil microbes to improve micronutrient availability and macronutrient availability, and new approaches to studying soil macronutrients and the synergistic effects constraining nutrition in the soils. Also, we need to look at the sustainability of the practices. So we need to produce without the externalities and without enhancing climate change or soil pollution or causing health problems. So some of the gaps of challenges identified in this area are the unknown or poor quality and safety of fertilizers, water, air, and soil pollution derived from the unsustainable soil management practices and fertilization practices, animal and human health problems. We have insufficient capacity development and also low fertilizer use efficiency. So this cocktail of problems are important and need to be addressed also by the network, and the recommended actions for that were fertilizer use efficiency and sustainable soil management, nature-based solutions, use more soil biodiversity, but also technological solution, precision agriculture, innovation in nutrient sources, and fertilizer quality assessment, standardization of protocols for the assessment of fertilizer quality, for the assessment of safety of the nutrient sources, because then we would reduce the environmental pollution, we would improve animal, soil, and crop health, we could contribute to mitigate and to adapt to climate change, and of course we would have improved quality of fertilizers. So something that was very clear during the meetings is that sustainable soil management, we have many solutions, but sustainable soil management is still very cost effective, environmentally friendly, affordable. So I don't think I have to convince you all of this. We also had very clear that soil microbes and nature-based solutions are very promising solutions to tackle nutrient imbalances, and also the consequences of these nutrient imbalances. So there is also a very high expectation in innovations and new approaches to increase soil fertility, and that finally that it is very important and that farmers want to have a certainty of the status of their soils under many different conditions. Well, this is, I think, I have. So in summary, the vision of the network is to promote integrated soil fertility management, sustainable soil fertility management with an holistic approach, integrally addressing the soil as we know it, and considering physical, chemical, and biological properties that are ultimately defining soil fertility. But also we want fertilization programs that are yield-oriented, yes, but balanced also in terms of soil nutrition. And we also need eco-friendly strategies and soil management practices to avoid pollution, contamination, and climate change. And if possible, will contribute to the mitigation of it. So this is also a summary of the vision of the network. So we would need integrated soil fertility management and tools to increase fertilizer use efficiency using nature-based solutions. So, for example, soil organic matter addition, the use of pulses like legumes and nitrogen fixing crops, biofertilizers and biostimulants, crop diversification, cover crops, but also we need management-based tools. They're very well known for our approach that you all know: fertilizer source, rate, time, and place, and also organic and inorganic fertilizers, slow-release fertilizers, other fertilizers that need to be used, and other solutions or other strategies in order to improve the rate, time, and place in which fertilizers are used. But also we need technological solutions, weather alerts, more than in the face of the global climate change in many different regions of the world, sensors, different models, and precision agriculture. So we also need to do all this with a vision of soil monitoring and information and analysis. Also, we need fertilizer quality assessment. We cannot do this without capacity development for farmers, technicians, laboratories, government, the public in general, etc., and with a vision of recycling nutrients and circular economy. So the working group 2 is called Soil Fertility and Fertilizer Management. And as I explained, it rised of the recommendation number 4 of the Global Symposium on Soils for Nutrition, which advocates for adopting sustainable soil management practices, taking in consideration that we will have a portfolio of solutions for many different problems that we have in different crops, in different weather, different soil types, different altitudes, etc., and even different cultures, and to avoid the underuse, misuse, and overuse of fertilizers. So the main objective of the working group 2 would be to promote that sustainable soil management and sustainable fertilization practices are widely known, widely disseminated at the farm scale, emphasizing innovations that to optimize nutrient use efficiency. So these are very general lines of action for the working group two. So first, we need to identify the practices. So we know that there are many successful practices that are working very well in different regions of the world. So we need to gather these practices. So we need to identify, compile, and to promote these successfully field-tested and calibrated soil management practices that have proven to increase soil fertility, crop nutrition, crop yields in different conditions that I have mentioned. And then also we need to identify and promote the practices that, in addition to promote yield, that are yield oriented, we also need these practices that are successful in reducing greenhouse gases emissions and atmospheric and water pollution and even soil degradation. And finally, we want to establish an environmentally friendly and nutrition sensitive fertilizer recommendation system. So we want to promote recommendation for fertilizer use, but based on solid knowledge of soil, based on a solid diagnosis of soil fertility, and eco-friendly and environmentally friendly. So for this, we also propose potential collaborations with other programs of the Global Soil Partnership, such as the Soil Doctors Program, which is a trainer of trainers program that I can share the link after I finish my presentation. Also with other networks of the Global Soil Partnership, the International Network on Soil Pollution, the International Network on Soil Biodiversity, the International Network of Soil Affected Soils, the International Network of Black Soils, and the Global Soil Laboratory Network for the harmonization of all these, all the methods that are used to identify and determine the nutrient concentrations. So the general activities to be developed by the working group 2, in summary, would be: number 1, the identification, description, and compilation of locally adapted sustainable soil management practices oriented to improve soil fertility, crop nutrition, and nutrient use efficiency. So first, we will need to compile these successful field-proven practices, and then we can develop a manual of sustainable soil management practices and fertilization practices to gather all these practices. This manual would be also in collaboration, would be developed in collaboration with other networks and other stakeholders. And it would be updated on a yearly basis. And then we also need to avoid the underuse, misuse, and overuse of fertilizers through the optimization of nutrient use efficiency and fertilizer recommendations. So we also are proposing to develop a manual of sustainable fertilization recommendations with all the precisions that I mentioned. And finally, also launch a fertilizer recommendation system based on the solid knowledge that all of you have. So I guess that is this is just to set the scene and to start the discussion. Thank you, Shin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Minisa. Thank you for your presentation and introduce the general recommendations, which is which come from the outcome document of the Soil Fertility, Soil for Nutrition Symposium. Colleagues, please raise your hand or put your question in the chat. So I see some questions in the chat, so we can discuss together. So a question from Masango Sony. The question is: so far as soil fertility and sustainability are concerned, we always observe a conflict between sustainability and profitability. Which of the working groups would get concerned with documenting, researching, and promoting evidence that sustainability and profitability can get along? And is there material that justifies this already? This is a very good question. because when we are talking about soil fertility and fertilizer management, it always linked to the economic benefit. For example, if you input more fertilizers, perhaps your yield will be more, but therefore maybe your economic benefit is not that good. So, and also it's very important, we need to know the local practices. It's not like somehow a country's practice can be used directly for another country, for another region, for another village. So that's why we built this working group, because we want to collect the best adopted, best located practices and can share with other countries, can share with other experts with similar economic and environment background. So, and then we can, for example, we are going to develop a technical manual. And in this technical manual, we would like to do more like precise recommendations, not like only say they see about 4R fertilization practices, but more located practices with case study, with background information, can share with the similar countries for the exchange. So I hope this question, I answered this question, because this meeting is the starting point. We don't have exactly the materials, good materials, and guidance for those things. We have some principles, like we need to improve soil efficiency, we need to keep soil fertility, sustainability, but we don't have good, very precise practices that can be used by the members. This is always a question from members, partners. They always ask us, yes, FAO provide good guidance, we have principles, but how to use them? We cannot use principles, guidelines. We need good practices, located practices that can really help farmers to improve their fertility, to improve their yield benefits, and at the same time reduce fertilizer input if possible, to increase efficiency. And the second question I see in the chat is, what about efficiency enhanced fertilizers options as a management tool? Yes, this is also a very important point, because everything related to efficiency. Efficiency is very about soil fertility, especially fertilizer input. For some countries, their fertilizer input efficiency are low, and for other countries, they use more precise, more precise approach, more improved practices, and they can achieve good fertilizer use efficiency. That technology and the knowledge should be shared with all members and the countries. Then they can increase their nutrient use efficiency. So thank you very much for your good comments. We are ready to all the comments, all the proposals, good recommendations from your side. And we will share our proposals to all of you after this meeting, because perhaps this meeting we cannot get all your recommendations, but later you can also provide your recommendation on our document. We will put document, and we will also discuss basically work plan next year, early next year, for the working group meeting. Today we are more focused on setting the structures and the governance of working group. So I see another question. How will the fertilizer recommendations manual serve the wide range of geographic and the GSP coverage and the nutrient sensitive fertilization targets go together or be achieved? Yes, this is a good question, because our partners come from different regions, different ecosystems, cropping systems. So that's why we need your support, and we can develop more specific. We can build a knowledge hub, like collect good practices all around the country, all around the world, and categorize them to some different region, different cropping systems that can be used for specific members and partners. So that is our objective, but we need to think about that. We need to think how to build this practices database or practice hub. On our website, Global Soil Partnership FAO website, or we develop some technical manual, because if we develop a big technical manual, it will be, for example, 600 page book, something like that. So it's perhaps too much for people to read, but maybe we can develop a database online, and then you select some keywords bottom, then you can directly go to the specific practices and can be used in your case. So we can discuss about this knowledge hub or practices database. Another question is between the smallholder farmers and the corporate farmers. It's also about the diversity. It's true, because we have evaluated, like, in the world, smallholder farmers only use farmland like 20%. So still more than half of our farmland are cultivated by the big farms. So we need to support both of them. So still, we need your knowledge about the diversity of end users of soil fertility and fertilizers. In connecting yield and efficient use of nutrients, we might also benefit looking at yield gaps in different regions and the crops. Efforts such as, of course, yesterday we mentioned that we discussed also the Global Soil Partnership of FAO is working in developing a global product called the Global Soil Nutrient Budget Map. Global Soil Nutrient Budget Map. So this map will calculate the input, output, and the soil nutrient dynamic to calculate the soil nutrient budget. So this map could be a good product, because in this map we are using global data to establish to evaluate the nutrient budget, include the crop yield, crop gaps, and specifically we can provide a good recommendations. After we develop this global nutrient budget map, we can provide good recommendations to the country, but perhaps not enough for farmers, because those models, those global data are not very detailed. So once we have resources, good resources, country project, then we can really to collect more detailed information about crop yield, about fertilizer input, about soil nutrients. Then we can provide good recommendations. That's why we planning to in the end, we would like to develop a global recommendation, fertilization recommendation system at FAO level, because that is what we can. That is exactly how we can contribute to country, to farmers. But we don't want to go to very detailed to farmers. Every farmers know. When we have data, we're going to provide a recommendation to farmer with resource, with project. If we don't have, we can provide recommendations to government, because some countries, they really don't have a good result and good system to evaluate their nutrient budget, their nutrient gap, because they don't. We went to some countries like developing country, they don't even have the fertilizer recommendation for different crops. So whole country have one fertilizer recommendation to all crops. So you know that will lead to the nutrient loss, and also for some crops it's not enough, because for example legumes will not be different to the corn, to the maize, is that for the nitrogen input. So we want it, once we develop those products, we can provide at least a general recommendation to countries. If we have good information data, we can provide more detailed recommendations to the farmers. And FAO is a platform like we are no benefit organization. We are really serve the members, partners freely. Okay, I see more questions coming. Some of I think it's statement. Some of them are knowledge statement.
Yuxin, there is also a hand raised, right?
Yeah, I know hand raised. I want to. Okay, so Rafa, please. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you for very interesting topics. But I put it in the chat. I think that it should be linked between working group 1 activities and working group 2 activities, because the identification of sustainable management should be done on the base of fertility map and nutrient map. Should be indicator identification also of indicator on the base of the monitoring and evaluation of quality of soil, and which kind of which dose of fertilizer should be added. Also, I think about countries that don't have their nutrient map, like Tunisia. I don't know why we don't participate to the exercise. Maybe you would organize a special training session for completing or to complete the countries do not have already their map, and we have also a big set of data on nutrient. Even we are member of Glossland and representative in GSP, so we have a very interesting database on nutrient, and we are interested to participate to elaborating our nutrient map, and this be very interesting for us, and to optimize also quantity of fertilizer, which are there's a lack of fertilizer now in Tunisia, and this work will be very interesting to reduce quantity of fertilizer. So maybe should organize a special session for country who want to fill gaps and have their own maps. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rafla. Yes, our group, not this group, but another group, Soil Information Group of Global Soil Partnership, is working on the development of Global Soil Nutrient Budget Map. They are organizing trainings. So of course, please contact us, and you can also contact Yusuf Ejini, who is the lead of the Soil Information Group of GSP. They will provide training for sure to your country, to Tunisia, and to develop the national soil nutrient budget map. We have methodologies for sure. We have training capacity, but we perhaps don't have exactly the data of your country about soil nutrients. So it's kind of we need your data. We will provide training to you, but you will develop the map by yourself by using your data. So the data will belong to your country, but we will provide training and the methodology. So all GSP, our maps is based on the country-driven approach. So we provide trainings, we provide the methodologies, but the country will develop their own maps. Then we collect all maps globally to develop a global map. So in this way, we can train the people, mappers in country, their capacity, their ability to develop their own maps. So thank you very much. And it's not, one-step work. It needs a long time for us to really develop this recommendation system, but we are already working on that. For example, develop the nutrient budget map, and this working group is more focused on the good practices, how to build capacity on management, soil fertility and fertilizers. We can organize trainings, workshops, etc., to include the similar the experts working on the similar field in the similar environment condition, economic condition, and to promote capacity of countries, and based on the monitoring system of working group 1. So for sure, we are going to. I think another suggestion is we need to have a good cooperation between working group 1 and working group 2. Sure, in the end, we will organize a whole workshop per year for whole INSOILFER working groups together, and we will discuss how to link the two groups together. For example, you can also provide a recommendation to the monitoring systems working group 1, and the monitoring system working group 1 can also provide recommendations and suggestions to working group 2. So it will, for sure, it will be linked together. In the end, we will develop a global recommendation systems with the first working group knowledge and the second working group knowledge. And the third working group also very important because it's relevant to the fertilizer quality, fertilizer standards, fertilizer laws, using laws in country. And the working group 2 also can contribute to the governance of the countries for sure, because FAO is a platform that can link to the governors, officers. So we can also provide good recommendations on the establishment of law, soil law, and fertilizer law of countries, regulations of countries. So that all of those components will be included in our work in the future, but we need to do it step by step. Thank you very much. I think other suggestions, I think. Thank you very much. Another comment is about the soil health quality for fertilizer use efficiency. Sure, we will include those components in our menus and in our knowledge database later. So without further ado, I would like to open a poll which include general recommendations to you and see if you agree. Then we can go into to discuss them with your additional suggestions in next working group meeting. So colleagues, please vote the work plan of working group 2. I can read them. So activities as a starting point in the working group 2. First, identification, description, and the compilation of locally adopted sustainable soil management practices oriented to improve soil fertility, crop nutrition, nutrient use efficiency. And second, with more specific activities include compilation of successful field-proven practices oriented to improve soil fertility, crop nutrition, use efficiency, develop a manual of sustainable soil management and fertilizer practices. Second work plan is avoiding underuse, misuse, overuse of fertilizers through the optimization of nutrient use efficiency and fertilizer recommendation. Develop a manual of sustainable fertilizer recommendations. So generally, one is about soil fertility. Another one is about fertilizer management practices. But with all of them, we will also organize other events, for example, trainings, webinars, workshops to discuss those good management practices. So colleagues, please vote for yourself because you are the owner of the workshop. If you agree, we are going to work. If you don't agree, we will send the concept note to you again, and we modify them again together. So colleagues, please vote. Thank you very much. Please. Okay, good. Thank you very much, colleagues. So I think I can close the vote because there are already 80% people vote. So so you can see the result. So 97% of people agree on the work plan. So as I mentioned, this is the starting point. We are very happy to, we are welcome to you, all of you, for your comments. If you have some excellent idea or good suggestions how to really provide, our mainly objective is to provide adopted good practices to farmers, to end users, small farmers, big farmers, according to their economic and environment situation. But how to achieve it, not only we at FAO can achieve it. So we need all of you together to achieve it. And you provide your suggestion, your knowledge, how to do it. But in general, we are going to do this. And for soil fertility management and fertilizer management, good management. Thank you very much. Thanks again, colleagues. I think we can go into the next session of today's meeting. So I would like to still invite my colleagues Vanessa to introduce the governance and the role of Vice-Chair of INSOILFER Network, who will lead the working group 2. So Vanessa, the floor is yours again, please.
Thank you, Shin. I will share my screen. So we are, as I explained, the chair of the network will be elected in the last day, but today we are going to elect the member that will be leading working group 2 and automatically then becoming a vice chair of INSOILFER. So I would like to remind you, I sent all of you these roles of the vice chair leading working group 2, but I see here people that might not receive these roles of the vice chair. So it is expected that the vice chair comes and attends the working group meetings, ensure that the objectives and deliverables are met on time, and update the working group work plan when it's necessary. Also maintain active communication between all the technical working groups and the INSOILFER General Chair, and with us, with the GSP Secretariat. So it's also a link. Then he will also be overseeing the progress and link between the INSOILFER and the other working groups. Report regularly about each technical working group progress to the chair of INSOILFER and to the GSP Secretariat. Also report the progress and changes to the work plan and to present them in the INSOILFER meetings, support the INSOILFER chair in attending other relevant network meetings, and events of interest in case the chair cannot participate. Also, meet regularly in advance with the different activities as needed, to advance with the different activities as we need it. Some additional remarks about the chair and the vice chair is that the mandate of the INSOILFER governing team shall be valid for a period of 2 years. So open election by the INSOILFER governing team will be performed at the INSOILFER meeting on the 2nd year. And the vice chair can be re-elected for a second term of 2 years, but he or she cannot serve more than 2 terms. And as the case may be, the vice chair may be supported by another member of the networking. So here are the candidates. We received only 2 candidacies to be vice chair of the working group 2. So Yuxin, if you want to give them the floor. Or...
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. So now I think we would like to invite the candidates of vice chair to introduce themselves, like their technical experience, education background, and also can show why they want to be the chair and how they can contribute to the vice chair role. Thank you. Firstly, I would like to invite Dr. Soya Narayani Reddy from India. Are you here?
Yeah, Mr. Tong. Thank you for inviting me to share my views on this working group 2. My name is L. Surunarayan Reddy. Born in a remote village in Andhra Pradesh state of India. I was associated with fertilizers since at the age of 16th year of my age. As soon as I completed my school final education, I used to assist my brothers in fertilizers business. And after doing this assistance business to my brothers continuously 4 years, later I have joined in a farm science 4 years degree course. Farm science means BSc Agriculture, where again I have encountered with manures and fertilizers subject, and completed my 4 years course, joined in a pesticides company by name Alembic Agrochemicals or Paushak India Agrochemicals. And after serving that Paushak India Agrochemicals industry, I have resigned that post and joined in State Bank of India Agricultural Development branches and served State Bank of India for 21 years. During this 21 years period, I used to exchange about fertilizers and manures used for crop production to improve crop productivity and production. Our main crops were sugarcane, paddy, groundnut, and horticulture crops like mango, support, the chiku, papaya, and also some short duration crops like watermelon, and etc. In 2001, I have resigned my post from State Bank of India Agricultural Development Branch Chandragiri near Tirupati. I am concentrating fully on my organization by name Gramina Vikas Samiti. In this Samiti, as a president, as a chief functionary of the Gramina Vikas Samiti, I have promoted agroecology practices in dryland agriculture, especially on groundnut-based cropping systems, where too also we have initially used single super phosphate, which is a chemical, for 2-3 years. After that, we completely encouraged our farmers group members to adopt for agroecological practices. Agroecological practices is nothing but using low external inputs for sustainable agriculture. I mean, not to go for manures and fertilizers to beyond your farm. You have to recycle nutrients in your farm, and except for seed, you don't go for external inputs to achieve sustainable yields and sustainable land management or sustainable soil management forever. And and as a Asia region CSO panel representative of United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, where also I have shared my agroecological experience of almost all 15 years. And I have also attended International Summit on Agroecology organized by CARI, based in Montpellier, France, last year, October. And again, I have invited to the same city for the closing and evaluation workshop of agroecology project that was implemented in 7 countries, of which India is also one of the country, and our organization supported that implementing organization by name Grama Bharati Samiti in Rajasthan. As you are all aware that Rajasthan is the lowest rainfall receiving area in the country, 280 mm per annum, whereas our area is the second lowest rainfall receiving region of Andhra Pradesh, receiving 550 mm only per annum. So, since I am fully immersed in fertilizers and manures applications and recommendations from 16th year of my age, I can deliver the duties, responsibilities assigned by FAO from time to time to promote this your concept, to take to from grassroots level to state level and then to central level, country level. So I am thankful for you, for all, Mr. Thong and Madam Vinisa, for supporting me to take your cause to the across the continents as well. Thanking you all, and I remain at your hand to clarify any doubts if raised by fellow participants of this working group meeting. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Reddy. Thank you very much for your introduction. Thank you. So now I would like to invite the second candidate, Dr. Roya Muhammad Sara. Please introduce yourself, your background, information, education, working experience. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I am Noura Mohamed Salah from Tunisia. I am a multidisciplinary scientist currently working for the Ministry of Education since 2006 up to date. And I am specialized in climate change, SDG, health and well-being, remote sensing data, and marine pollution. I have the bachelor degree in biology in 2001 and another high diploma from the High Institute of Health since 2004. And many dozen other diploma and certificate from many institutions around the world. I participate or I get more training, internship, achievement, course, certificate, almost are accredited, nominated as leader of GSP Alumni Hub in Tunisia, certified sustainability officer, construction LCA specialist, primary global ambassador at Singularity University, country monitor at Climate Reality Project, UN FCCC observer, judge member at Selection Review Committee, and many other nominations. I am now interested in integrating the SDG into national planning. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction. So now I would like to open the poll for your vote. Please vote. There is a single choice for the chairperson. of this working group? So, sorry, it's a yes or no?
Yes.
Sorry, I think it's not correct. Vanessa, I cannot see it. It's a yes, no?
No, it's wrong. Yuxin, please give us a moment to correct this
Okay.
poll, because you should vote for one of those candidates.
Okay,
So
okay,
please
sorry,
give us a
sorry.
moment.
Sorry
Yeah.
for that. I will and vote. Yeah. So okay. So I think we can change the format for a minute.
He already asked to send.
Or we can use another format to put the name 1 or 2. I can do. It's not good. So
Let me see if I can do the addition, and just in the meantime, you can continue with the.
Yeah, sorry for that. I think it's because it's previous we only have one candidate. Now we have 2 candidates.
Yes, please allow me to. We are going to need some 10 minutes. I don't know if you want to continue with the, or should I continue with the presentations?
Yes, let's continue the presentation, and we can provide the vote by the end of today's meeting.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just give me 1 minute. I mean, now I cannot find my presentation, sorry.
Don't worry, Vanessa.
Sorry.
We are waiting. No, don't worry. I will try to contact colleagues to change the vote, and you please go ahead for the technical committee.
Committee, yeah.
Yeah, please.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so we are not going to elect the technical committee of the working group 2. So the technical committee is formed by members of the network, and I will briefly tell you about the roles of the technical committee. So it's reviewing the proposals and other activities made by the network, writing of technical documents and communication materials that we might develop, dissemination materials, etc. Also improving or rejecting the proposals, of course, in collaboration with the network. The decisions will be reported to all the members of INSOILFER and the coordinators. Also advising the working groups on how to write the technical documents and participate in writing these technical documents. So the technical committee will be established for each one of the working groups, and we always try to keep the regional gender and age balance. It's not always possible, but we try our best. So candidates will be proposed and selected by you based on their knowledge and experience and the technical competence. And if for any reason the members of the technical committee cannot carry out their roles, then they can be replaced by another member of the network. So we have received these 9 candidacies. So perhaps we can give them the floor so they can introduce themselves. So I please ask you if you can mute your microphones if you are not participating. Thank you. So Yuxin, should we give the floor to them? Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Inisa.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Vinny, because Yushin is with me because to solve some technical problems. He is joining. Like,
So sorry then.
I think,
Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
you
Phil. It's
can,
just
you
that.
can, yeah, the poll for the vice chair now is fixed. Then you will be able to relaunch it, and I think you can present these members if you want to do that.
Okay, thank you. Perfect. It's just that I lost my vision because I was in full screen. Sorry, but
Don't worry.
okay. So please let's welcome Dr. Masango Solomon Sone from Cameroon. So please briefly introduce yourself and share with the members your motivation for sharing joining the technical committee. Are you there? Dr. Masango Solomon?
We cannot hear you.
Let me
Masango, we cannot hear you.
to the director, because I told him all there's no IT.
No, we cannot hear you. Okay, Vinisa, let's go
Yes.
to the next one.
Yes, perhaps you can try to reconnect, and in the meantime, we will present the other candidates, Mr. Masango. Then I would like to invite Karina Batista from Brazil, please. The floor is yours to introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Karina. I'm from Brazil. I scientific research in Instituto de Zootecnia. Instituto de Zootecnia is a governmental institute. We work with animal and plants. I had the work with integrated system, and I am interested in group because I would like to network and contribute for the society. Is my view and my position. Thank you.
Thank you, Karina, very much. Now let's welcome Gerardo Ojeda from Colombia. Gerardo, are you there? All right. Then let's go to the next candidate, Dr. Atia Rafla from Tunisia.
Yes, please. So introduce myself. I'm Atia Rafla, General Engineer, and I am Soil Director with relevant to Ministry of Agriculture of Tunisia. I was ITPS intergovernmental partnership in last mandate, and coordinate several projects with FAO like LADA project, TSSLM, and TCP-RAB 2032, dealing with land degradation assessment and sustainable land management, and working also on mapping of land degradation, land salinity, land carbon sequestration. Also, I am involved in Glosseland because I manage central laboratory in Tunisia of soil analysis and water analysis. So we are a reference laboratory in Tunisia with Glossland and exchange many activity and participating on soap and harmonized soil analysis. This is my main activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's welcome Armando Tasistro from the United States.
علاش بربي علاش باش نستعجل بعدين نتكلم.
Hello. Okay. Thank you, Vinisa. My name is Armando Tasistro. I am an agronomist, soil scientist, and I am very happy and motivated to be here in this group. I have worked all my career really in agronomy, soil science, dealing with mostly all of the issues that we have been talking about today, about research and education, supporting international programs. I have worked mostly in Latin America, but also when I was worked for several years at CIMIT in Mexico, I had to interact with other national research organizations in different countries. And I share the objectives and the concerns of this group, and I would like to cooperate and put some of my experience that I have collected through the years. I think this group has a lot of potential, many challenges, but I think we need to put all of that together, like Dr. Tong mentioned earlier, and I would be happy to cooperate with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tasistro. Then let's welcome Dr. Roger Koji Inang from Cameroon. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your names well. It's very likely that I am not. Sorry for that. Is he here? No, right? Okay. Then let's go to the next candidate, Dr. Milton Ferreira de Moraes from Brazil.
Hello, good afternoon. I don't know if maybe
Hello.
Good morning. I'm Professor Milton. I'm from Brazil. I'm professor at the Federal University of Mato Grosso. And at this moment, I'm doing my sabbatical at Rothamsted Research in the United Kingdom. And I have been working since 2011 as a professor in the Federal University of Mato Grosso. I work with soil fertility and management practices with focus on nutrient use efficient, mostly in soybean, maize, rice, and some annual crops. And I have expertise as a teacher since 2011. And I think I can contribute for the group with some discussion, especially regarding of the fertilizer practices and management practice for the use efficient of nutrients in the field. That's my objective. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Milton. Now, let's welcome Haitao Xiang from China. We cannot hear.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Haitao Xiang. I'm from China. I'm currently a professor at Institute of Soil Science at Chinese Academy of Science. Prior to this assignment, I have served for more than 10 years in various R&D positions in the United States agriculture industry. I received my PhD degree in agriculture and biological engineering from University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign in United States. My research focus on the development and application of digital agriculture technologies for precision nutrient management to improve efficiency and productivity for the agriculture production. So with almost 20 years of dedicated research experience in precision nutrient management, I'm eager to contribute my expertise and insights and also passion to this working group so we can promote sustainable soil fertility practice together. So thank you, everyone. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Please, Dr. Masango, if you can introduce yourself. I saw that you reconnected and you solved the problem, the audio problem. So please take the floor. I just saw him, but now I am not seeing him anymore. Well,
Okay, Vanessa.
Before we go, Vanessa,
yes, sorry.
as we discussed, if
Yes.
we could add, yeah.
Let me
If
introduce you, Dr. Ranjan. Sorry, Yushin, is it that Dr. Ranjan was elected yesterday as a vice chair of Working Group 1. And because of the topics that you have been discussing and the coordination is important, Dr. Ranjan has requested to be also part of the technical committee of Working Group 2, which I think is very logical. So Dr. Ranjan, please go ahead.
Thank you so much. I am Dr. Ranjan Bhattacharya. I'm working at Indian Agricultural Research Institute as full professor since 2016. I'll not go into detail about myself, but I mainly work on soil carbon sequestration, soil physical properties, some soil biological properties, and interrelations between physics and biology for carbon sequestration mechanisms. I also worked on soil erosion control. So if you Google my name along with soil, so other things will be available. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yushin. I think those are all the candidates. So give it.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. We fixed the issue for the vote of vice chair. So colleagues, so sorry. And now I think we can vote for the vice chair of two candidates. Now I would like to open the poll for the vice chair. Can you see it? Now you can choose who you can vote the candidate. Colleagues, please vote your vice chair who are leading the working group of this topic. Thank you very much. Colleagues, please, still 30% participants didn't vote. Dear participants, please vote. The chair, the vice chair of the working group, please. So I think I can provide the result and share with you. So the second candidate, Dr. Nora Muhammad Sarah, is selected as the leader of this working group and the vice chair. Congratulations,
Congratulations. Congratulations, Dr. Noria.
Congratulations. Dr. Noria, are you here?
Yes, yes, I am hearing you.
Yeah,
Thank
please.
thank you very much for belonging you today, and I am proud to be the vice chair for the working group number 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we appreciated your willings and your to contribute to the working group 2. And we will working together and contribute to this working group. And together we promote sustainable soil fertility and fertilizer management together. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now I think we should go to the next session. It's about the role of reference institutions of working group 2. So Vinisa, please also introduce the role of this reference institution, please.
Yes, just a moment. Sorry, so the roles of general institutions is that they will support us in the network to downscale and also to impulse and upscale some of the activities and the objectives of INSOILFER. So the roles of the reference institutions are several. Just attend the meetings of INSOILFER to contribute to the regional, local, and global decision making. Representatives of the national reference institutions can, if needed, can count on the financial support to attend the meetings, depending on the funds available, of course, and the participation of these reference institutions. They should attend regional and global trainings and webinars, but also implement INSOILFER standards and decisions. Of course, have active communication and reply to INSOILFER emails and all the requests. Promote INSOILFER with other institutions, motivating other institutions, laboratories in their respective countries and regions to join the network, lead the organization of national trainings and meetings to transfer the knowledge and skills acquired in the INSOILFER to other institutions or other laboratories. Some additional remarks: all public and private institutions are welcome to INSOILFER. National reference institutions also will support the implementation of the activities in different scales. And suggested criteria for the national reference institutions are to perform outstanding activities related to the topics that are going to be addressed by Working Group 2. And of course, contain qualified, trained, and experienced staff relevant for the topics that will be addressed by this working group. So far, we have received these 3 candidacies, which doesn't mean that these will be the only ones. So you can still submit your candidacies, but so far we received the candidacy for the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research Soil Research Institute from Ghana, Falcon, the association, a member of World Farmers Organization from Mauritius, and the soil direction of the Ministry of Agriculture from Tunisia. So these are the institutions. So I guess depending on the time restriction, we could give them the floor a little bit, or we can go directly to the poll. But I also would like to invite you to still submit the reference institutions. So over to you.
Vinisa, I don't think we have poll for the reference.
Sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me explain a little bit more. So why we organize these reference institutions? Because we have 200 partners for the whole INSOILFER network, but we want to encourage support more active partners. So then we would like to categorize reference institutions. So those institutions could be have more responsibilities, but will also receive more benefits from our side. For example, we will provide certificates. We will prioritize to invite experts from those reference institutions to organizing, to participate in the workshops, events, conference. And also we would like to support those institutions for the capacity building. So it's kind of, we want to provide some incentive to the more active partners, not only research institutions, but all the relevant stakeholders. So that is our purpose. So we today maybe many partners don't know exactly what is this reference institutions, but we encourage you to attend this kind of institutions, and we also would like to work more closely with those institutions and with their active response to our activities, but we will also support them more because we need active partners to attend our meetings, to support to build the capacity. For example, where we have some requests from member countries to develop good management practices for small islands. Then firstly, we would like to invite the colleagues from the reference institutions, the experts from reference institutions who are very active to all our work, also have similar expertise for island soil fertility management practices. Then we will invite those institutes, or maybe we also will organize trainings in these institutions and involve them in our project. So that is the purpose, because we need to encourage the good partners, and also therefore can also can encourage other partners to be more active. So that is the purpose. We are still welcome you to participate, to submit your document to be the reference institutions. So we will also welcome you, and then I think before the deadline can be the end of this year. So if you are interested to become the reference institutions of the INSOILFER, the International Network of Soil Fertility and Fertilizers, please contact us with your document. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think now we can go into the last session. It's about conclusion and the way forward. Vinita, so do you have some conclusion?
Yes, just I would like to show you that.
Thank you.
How working group is then formed. So this would be the new structure of SORI's working group 2. So sorry for that mistake. Sorry. So this is the new structure of working group 2. Then we have the first vice chair of the working group 2 is Dr. Noura Mohamed Salah from Tunisia. Then we have the technical committee formed by the members of the network of working group 2. Dr. Gerardo Ojeda told me that he had communication problems, but he wants to be part of the technical committee. And Dr. Masango is around, so he just has has connection problems also, but this is the technical committee. And so far we have here the 3 reference institutions that will be working together with the working group 2. So just, you can nominate still the other institutions. Then the work plan, the general work plan has been endorsed. So these are the activities that we had proposed, but also we have more comments from you. We will also take a close look at the questions and the comments that you put in the chat to make this more complete. And of course, this is only to start, it's not final. We will have in the future more meetings and more work to do, and we will of course be adjusting this work plan, but we will start with this, and all of you have agreed to that. And the way forward is to develop a document for the working group 2. In this document, we will put all this information, all the accomplishments today, and also working group 2 meetings. We don't know the date yet. I'll just put here first trimester of 2024. Let's see how the availability and the work is going. But for sure, we will have a working group 2 meeting in the next year. Please nominate your reference institutions. Also, it's been clear that we need to organize joint working groups meetings with working group 1 and working group 3. So I take this opportunity to invite all of you to the meeting of working group 3 tomorrow. You might find it interesting and also a place to collaborate. And also after the working group 3 meeting, we will have the general debriefing meeting of the 3 days and the election of the chair. So I encourage you to attend and vote for the chair of INSOILFER. And also we will update the INSOILFER website with all this information. So you will find it there in the website. And finally, this is a goal to grow the working group 2 and grow INSOILFER. So please ask your colleagues that you think that can contribute to this working group to join INSOILFER. So I guess that's it, unless you have something else to add, Yushin.
No, thank you, Vanessa. So yes, as I mentioned, this is the starting point. This meeting is the starting point. We will together to develop the work plan and the document of this working group, and we will organize many events, workshops, webinars, even to show your expertise to the global audience. Also, we will organize working group meeting the first semester of 2024, and in that meeting, we will specifically to look the document, the structure, the work plan of working group 2, and before the meeting, we will share the document to you to receive your comments, and then we can discuss also during the meeting. So I see a hand up. So Nicola Muwaba, if you have any question, please. Please, the floor is yours, please. We cannot hear you. You mute yourself. Hello? Correct? Muwaba? Okay, I can move to the next question. Hands up from Gasham Zibor. Please, the floor is yours.
Yes, for me, I have a question that I have. I think I have sent my nomination also for the technical working group, and I did not see my name. That's it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know, but we will check again.
We can still include, because I had just registered the reference institution, but for sure then we can include it in the technical committee if the network agrees. I know we have run the poll, but if
Okay,
perhaps.
I think we can do this. In the next semester, the working group meeting, we will talking again and include more people if they want to be the technical committee. So today, I think we already vote. Well, I already vote for the technical committee. So
Okay.
is that okay? Is that okay? We will
Yes,
announce your membership of technical committee in next working group meeting in the first semester of 2024. Thank you. Sorry.
And also want to ask if it can be as institution for the working group in one.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Please send an email with a registration document to Vinisa and me. Then we will collect the information, including your institute, to the working group one reference institution.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Please.
Yeah, only just
Sorry, Nicole, we cannot hear you very well. Your connection is bad. So can you put your question in the chat, or if you can also send a message to our email? We cannot hear you very well. Okay, colleagues, any other questions? Please raise your hand if you have any other questions or recommendations, comments regarding the working group 2. I don't see any hand up, other hand up. So thank you very much, colleagues. And tomorrow, yeah, please.
Sorry, interrupt you. There is Roger Koji Inang is finally here. He was a member of he's a member of the technical committee, but he had connection problems before.
Okay, so please.
You are muted.
Hear you.
Roger.
You mute yourself.
Please, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you immensely. I'm so grateful. We have been having a lot of internet problems. That's why I've been able to connect successfully. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present myself. I am Roger Inankoge from Cameroon, precisely from the University of Chang Soil Science Department of the Faculty of Agronomy and Agricultural Sciences. Well, I've been teaching for the past 5 years in this department, and one of the main courses I take is mineral plant nutrition and the fertilizers. With a background in environmental chemistry and soil fertility, I really feel motivated to be part of this committee on soil fertility and fertilizers. My main motivation is to work with a group of international experts from whom I'm sure I'll gain some experience that will help me in my career, but most of all in my research domain. With my experience, with my little experience in scientific writing as well, I feel motivated because I think I will participate a lot in the write-up of reports and other types of scientific works that will be needed by the work group. Mainly, that is why I really feel motivated in joining this work group number 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Doctor, to introduce your background. Thank you very much, colleagues. So any questions and any participants want to speak? Okay, thank you, colleagues. So I think today we close the meeting very on time. So thank you very much, colleagues. And tomorrow we will organize the third working group, also very important working group focused on the fertilizer quality. So this working group will support capacity building of global fertilizer analysis laboratories. We need good quality of fertilizers to input in our soils. Otherwise, there will be problem. So this working group also will develop the standard operating procedure for the soil for the fertilizer laboratories, and also will conduct capacity building activities for fertilizer analysis, etc. So it will be also very interesting working group. So welcome to you to attend tomorrow's working group meeting. And at the end, after the working group 3 meeting, we will have the general briefing meeting. We will select the chair of whole INSOILFER network. So please attend and vote your chair, who will lead the whole network. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, colleagues. And I would like to close today's meeting and hope you have a good day, good morning, good night, good afternoon, good evening, and hope to see you tomorrow as well. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, colleagues.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 INSOILFER and Blossom. INSOILFER is the new one.
Bye-bye, colleagues.
Bye-bye.
Anyway, inception workshop next week. 4 days inception workshop. Let's say call it inception workshop. First day the inception.
Bye-bye, colleagues.
The project, second day workshop day, and third and fourth day we will have